Anthony Slater from ESPN reports that Jonathan Kuminga is feeling like the scapegoat again. He feels like the scapegoat again, one team source said. Kuminga, team sources said, had voiced to Kerr a desire to be coached harder. There was even a meeting about it in the Sacramento hotel prior to their 9th game of the season. And Kerr appeared to make it a point during the Kings game to call Kuminga over and get on him constructively several times. But 4-1 became 6-6. Kuminga's knees began bothering him. His defensive juice and burst to the rim lessened. He went 1 for 9 shooting at home against the Pacers, missing all 5 of his threes. Coaches dinged him for his perimeter shot selection as a reason for his minutes reduction to a season low 20. And for the Warriors to reach their ceiling this season, there's an internal belief that Jonathan Kuminga, even in a condensed role, must shake off some of his built-up resentment and get back to the impact wing from the first couple of weeks, even if the long-term benefit for both sides is more about a bump in trade value than a partnership. Again, all that from Anthony Slater from ESPN. I said right after the Oklahoma City game when those comments were made that it felt like they were scapegoating Kuminga again. The Golden State Stars themselves all came out like shit against the Thunder, got their butts kicked, and then they went into the pressers and blamed the young guys. Now, here's the truth. The Warriors are 9-8 because of their schedule. That's it. After I'm recording this, I'm recording with Adam Mares from DNVR. We're doing that All-NBA show. And one of the topics we're doing today is we're covering teams that are better than their record and teams that are worse than their record. And you know what team I picked for the team that's better than their record? The Golden State Warriors. They're 9-8 because they have a team built around 4 guys in their late 30s, and they had 17 games in 28 days to start the season. So there's no reason to blame anyone. Steph has been bad in some games. We talked about the Oklahoma City game. Steph was bad in the Oklahoma City game. Steph was really bad in the Indiana Pacers game. It was a big part of why they lost that game, the one on the road. Jimmy's been bad at points. Draymond's been bad at points. Jonathan Kuminga's been bad at points. So has Moses Moody and Brandon Pajemski. They've all been beaten into the ground by the schedule. And that's what makes this pump fake from Golden State so bizarre. Like early in the season, when things are going good, and Jonathan Kuminga's in the starting lineup, everyone's singing Jonathan Kuminga's praises. And for good reason. He was playing well. And again, did he tail off as things got harder? Yeah, but so did everyone else. And this is where it comes back to the same damn thing we've been arguing about all damn summer in all of the last year and a half or so. Is Jonathan Kuminga a great fit with the Golden State Warriors? Obviously not. Even with him playing better to start the season, the on-off numbers continue to show that the team is better without him because he's not a great fit. But I don't think he's to blame for the 9-8 start. And again, the Warriors had every opportunity to move on from the Kuminga era this summer. The only reason they didn't is because they didn't want to lose him as an asset for nothing. And because when they shopped him, they weren't happy with the return they were being offered in those sign-in trades. So it's like this complete disillusionment, so to speak, surrounding his value. So they decided to bring him back, and here we are. And when things are good, it's Kuminga's finally buying in. And when things are bad, it's the young guys aren't all pulling in the same direction as us. And again, like, I know that both sides have blame in this, but one of the sides is a bunch of grown-ass middle-aged men who know better. And the other side is a 23-year-old talented basketball player who's been jerked around for 4.5 years. So of course he's kicking and screaming a bit. I lack any form of sympathy for the Warriors in this situation. And I cannot wait for the saga to be over. All right, let's get into our mailbag. I'll get to a Warriors question first here since we're on the Warriors. Who between Trey Murphy or Herb Jones fits what the Warriors need? Is it the third scoring option in Trey Murphy or the lockdown point of attack defender in Herb Jones that will elevate the Warriors into contender status? So I've had this debate with Warriors fans at various points over the last few months. I had it with Tommy and Sam from the Light Years podcast like about a month or two ago. And, they kind of both leaned more towards the Herb Jones type. Essentially, they want a big athletic forward. Essentially, like we talked about it in the context of like an Andrew Wiggins versus a Jordan Poole. Which version do the Warriors need? Do the Warriors need what Jordan Poole was to the 2022 Warriors, or do they need what Andrew Wiggins was to the 2022 Warriors? That's kind of where the path bifurcates, so to speak, right? And Trey is essentially that scoring forward type that would add offensive pop to the team. And Herb Jones is your stereotypical 3-and-D kind of athlete, right? So they kind of, in this mailbag question that you're pitching, they represent both ends of that discussion. For me, I maintain that I think they need scoring. I think ultimately the biggest problem the Warriors have is that when the young guys and everybody down the roster, whether it's Jimmy being able to score and carry bench units, or it's Draymond Green knocking down catch and shoot threes, or it's Moody and Pods going for 30 points on any given night rather than 15. I think it's the inconsistent offense off of Steph that continues to be a problem for this team. I always believe in their ability to scale up defensively when they need to. So for me, I would be targeting someone more along the lines of a Trey Murphy. That said, either player would help the team. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Herb Jones wouldn't help the Warriors. But to me, you have a guy in Moses Moody who provides a rough approximation of that. No, he's not as good as Herb, but he provides a rough approximation of that. A guy who can guard the opposing team's best player, the guy who's better at it than Jonathan Kuminga because he's better and more disruptive with his hands, a guy that can bring some catch and shoot play, attacking closeouts, he even brings some movement shooting too. Although Herb Jones has built out some of his more refined offensive game as well. But to me, you already have a guy that kind of roughly approximates that. Trey Murphy represents something you don't have, like a legit heat check wing scorer, a guy that can come in and like consistently give you in that 20 to 25 points range, a guy that's not going to have as many nights where he just is a non-factor on the offensive end of the floor. So for me, whether it's Trey Murphy or it's someone else, I lean towards the Warriors need scoring pop. They need someone that can come in for a 5-minute stretch when Steph checks out of the game and legit like provide the offensive explosion to carry those units. That's the kind of guy that I would be targeting if I was the Warriors.